So, in the last class we had seen the star reference quantities, and we had also seen how on what condition you can use Bernoulli's equation, what is the pressure ratio or the Mach number below which you can use the Bernoulli's equation. We will demonstrate that with a couple of examples. So, I have a numerical problem here. So, I have some duct, probably area changing duct or whatever. So, there is some velocity, I have a static pressure measured here at the wall. We will discuss how a static pressure and stagnation pressures are measured probably in the classes that comes later, but for the time being what is measured at the wall is the static pressure, which is 80 kilopascal, and I have a pitot tube here which measures my stagnation pressure. Again we will discuss these things at a later point of time, which measures around 120 kilopascal. So, the temperature at which this flow is at 100 degrees Celsius, which will be a static temperature. So, question 1, what is the velocity if the flow is incompressible? What is the velocity if the flow is compressible? So, I have given you the static pressure, stagnation pressure and my stagnation temperature associated with this flow. Question is to find the velocity. If the flow is incompressible, use Bernoulli's equation to get P0 by rho equals P by rho plus V square by 2. So, I get my velocity as P0 minus P by rho into 2 to the power 1 by 2. So, what is my stagnation pressure here? 120 into 10 power 3 minus 80 into 10 power 3 multiplied by 2 divided by density. We can assume perfect gas. So, density is okay, 1 point. So, I assume if density is not given, so you have a density here. Now, if the flow is compressible, what do? We have T0, we have P0, P. So, from P0 by P is related to T0 by T as gamma by gamma minus 1 in this particular form for a fully compressible flow, assuming no losses, no heat transfer, no shaft work. So, this is our compressible flow relation. So, P 0 by P is P0 is 120 by 80 to the power gamma by gamma minus 1 equals T0 is 373 divided by T. So, T would be 'Once you have the T, you can use the energy equation to get your velocity. $332. So, I use this value of T, static T, to find my velocity. So, my Cp is 1005 joule per kg Kelvin into T0 is P naught by P, P naught so this is gamma minus 1 by gamma. So, this is gamma minus 1 by gamma. So, this value is 332 Kelvin. So, Cp by Cp into T0 is 373 equals 1005 into 332 plus V square by 2, from which you would get your V to be (287) meters per second. So, that is a difference in your velocity if you have assumed incompressible flow. So, that is the error. So, you can actually find the percentage error in velocity if you had assumed the wrong behavior. Okay. So, this is for your incompressible flow, this is for your compressible flow. This is what you use for flows, air flow at very low speed, Mach numbers less than 0.3, or water flows or liquid flows, or flows with any constant density, and this is what you use for the complete compressible flow. Okay. Now, we will do another problem. So, you can also find the maximum possible velocity with this T0. So, you can continue doing this Vmax equals for given T0, you can find Cp T0 into 2 power 1 by 2. So, 1005 into T0 is 373 into 2 power 1 by 2. So, this is 866 meters per second. So, this is the maximum possible velocity that you can achieve in this scenario with this T0. For a given T0, this is the maximum possible. So, you are converting the entire heat content to the kinetic energy. That is what this tells you, which is not achievable, it is not possible, because we know the temperature T1 would reduce to 0 Kelvin. So, hence it is not possible. So, we will go to the second question. I have a tank . The velocity that is coming out of this tank through a nozzle or a orifice is and I connect this to a U tube which is mercury, and the difference in height is around 30 centimeters. Okay. So, I have measured my temperature here 30 degrees. Now, I am going to measure the pressure inside the tank using a U-tube manometer, which uses a mercury as your fluid, and the distance, the head difference is 30 centimeters. So, you will want the density of mercury to be this. If that is the case, find P of the tank. P exit. So, this is my exit. So, P at the exit, M at the exit. Okay. So, I have a tank here, the fluid is 30 degrees, air, it is ejecting through an orifice at 235 meters per second. The tank is measured, the pressure of the tank is measured using a U-tube manometer with mercury, the head difference is 30 centimeters. Find P of the tank, P at the exit, Pm at the Mach number at the exit. So, this is the tank which contains lot of fluid particle in it. The velocity is assumed to be 0. So, the temperature you have measured there is T0. So, T0 is 30 degrees Celsius, which is 273 plus 30 degrees Kelvin. If that is the case, apply my energy equation to get the temperature at the exit plus the velocity at the exit. So, velocity at the exit is given, stagnation temperature is given. So, you can find your T exit to be T0 minus V square by 2 Cp, which is 303 minus V square is 235 the whole square by 2 into 10^05 So, this enthalpy is used to generate this particular kinetic energy. While doing that, the enthalpy of the air has reduced, which means the temperature has reduced to 276. That is the meaning. So, it is a balance of energy. So, this energy is converted to kinetic energy, some energy heat content is lost. So, you get a reduced temperature. So, it is an expansion process where the temperature is reducing. Okay. But the question is to find P tank. What is P tank? So, again your P tank is nothing but your stagnation pressure. So, now you have static pressure and static temperature and stagnation temperature, which is 303 by 276. Now, this is related to your pressure. So, this P is at the exit, T at the exit. So, your P0 by P exit is related to gamma by gamma minus 1. Now, what is P exit? What is P0? This is being measured by a U2 manometer here, which has this quantity. So, what is your it is delta rho GH. What is delta rho? Density of mercury, which is given as how much? Minus density of air, which is around 1.22 into G is 9.81 into H is the height difference, which is 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters is 30 into 10 power minus 2 meters. So, this is 40 kilopascal. So, the tank contains stagnation, contains air at temperature 30 degrees Celsius and 40 kilopascal. So, your T by P exit is now decided by this relation. So, your P exit is nothing but P0 into Te by T0 to the power gamma by gamma minus 1 by gamma. Twenty-nine kilopascal. Since we already know the temperature, it is easy to find the Mach number at the exit, which is V exit by A exit, which is V exit by root of gamma R T exit. V exit is given 235 divided by gamma R. So, gamma of air and R of air is something which you should remember, and T exit is 276. So, the Mach number at the exit would be 0.7. So, I will repeat the question here. So, I have a cylinder, I have a stagnation temperature, and stagnation pressure is measured using this U2 manometer. So, now we have if the gas is going at 235 meters per second, my Mach number is 0.7. Okay. Now, we will see what is the meaning of A star and other star quantities. So, I have a flow through a duct or converging duct. So, the area somewhere at some location is 0.1 meter square. The P01 is given as 150 kilopascal, P1 is 123 kilopascal, T0 is 400 Kelvin. Our usual assumption, there is no heat transfer, no Q, there is no shaft work, there is no Ws, and let us also assume isentropic flow. So, your P0 and T01 are going to be constant throughout the flow. With all those assumptions, find your Mach number at section 1, your m dot the temperature at section 1 and your A star. We will try to understand the meaning of A star from this particular problem. So, assume air. So, P01 and P1 is given, you are required to find the Mach number, which is a straightforward substitution of this particular relation, which is 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 m1 square multiplied to the power gamma by gamma minus 1. So, your m1 you will get it as 0.44, 0.54. If I use P1 as 150 kilopascal divided by 123 kilopascal. So, that is the answer to the first question. So, at section 1 my Mach number is 0.54. Now, m dot O1, A1, V1, rho 1 is P1 by R T1 into A1 into M1 into root of gamma R T1. So, I have to find T1. T1 and P1 are related using gamma minus 1 by gamma. So, I can find T1, or since I know Mach number, I can get from this relation. Since I already know the Mach number at section 1, I can use this relation to get this, or use this relation, both are the same relation. Now, we are also going towards something called gas tables, which we will do the same set of problems with gas tables. Okay, the same set of problem we are going to do this with the gas table. So, now you can calculate this, and T1 is 378 Kelvin. So, if that is the case, then I can easily find my m dot from this particular relation. So, P1 is known, T1 is known, A1 is given, M1 is known, and T1 is. So, I would get something in kg per second. Okay. So, T1 is my question 3 and m dot is my question 2. Point 023. What is the Mach number? Mach number 0.54, m dot is 0.03. Yeah, it is possible. So, A by A star relation in terms of Mach number is 'So, now I know m is 0.54. So, if I substitute m here, my A by A star is 1.27, okay, which means A star is A is 0.1 meter square divided by 1.27, which is 0.08 meter square. Okay. Now, let us look at the meaning of A star. So, I have m1 here to be 0.54, my a1 as 0.1 meter square. Now, the A star at this point we found to be 0.08 meter square. Now, what is my A star? I do an imaginary process, I reduce or increase the velocity to the velocity of sound. So, if I do this process here from state 1, I do an isentropic process, velocity 0 is my stagnation, here is my V star equals A star. Okay. So, if I do this process, what is my area there? That is what it is given. So, for the same setup, if I want to do isentropic process to reduce this velocity, this area has to change to this area to get the velocity of sound as same as velocity of the fluid. Okay. So, I have to reduce this much in area to get my Mach number to be 1 at this particular location. Okay. So, here is where when Mach number is 1. Fine. That is the meaning of A star. So, what is M star? This is velocity of star by velocity by A star. So, velocity, if I know the velocity here, I can find my M star, which will not be same as this. Okay. So, that is the meaning of the star value, the M star value. So, I can modify the same problem. So, if I have A1, A2 here, I can have an associated star value here, I can have an associated star value here. So, A1 by A2 I have in Mach number 1 and Mach number 2, the relation which we have already derived. If the process is isentropic, we know that P01 A1 star P01 A1 star equals P02 A2 star equals so if it is isentropic P01 equals 1 and A1 star by A2 star equals 0. So, this is for any process, for a irreversible process equals 1. So, if this is a isentropic process that is happening here, my A star 1 is same as A star 2. So, in the same problem which we had done before, if I have a section 2 here, I will have the same A star, even though the Mach number here may be different, the A star associated would be different as long as. So, if the area would be different, so the Mach number associated would be here would be different, but the A star value is going to remain the same. Okay. That is from this particular relation. So, what does this mean? So, the section at this flow, if I have a fluid at this particular section A1, it has to undergo a process where area will reduce to A1 star to get M equals 1, whereas here it will reduce to that same A star to get M equals 1. Okay. So, if I have a large Mach number to start with, then what would be your M star? What would be your A star? How much will the area reduce, or how much will you have to reduce the area to get M equals 1? that is the meaning of it. This has more implication when we discuss converging diverging nozzle. So, what should be your entrance area, what should be your inlet area, what should be your throat dia, everything is decided by these quantities, which we will see it in the classes later on. Okay. So, what we have learned now is the meaning of A star, how you can relate that to stagnation temperature, Mach number, stagnation properties, relation, everything. We will do exactly the same problem using gas tables at a later point. Okay. So, we will discuss something more on A star and then we will use the gas tables.